Hello, everybody. This is Lori Dushoni, your instructor, and I would like to welcome you to Sociology 105, Marriage and the Family. I put this particular picture on our first page because this is an old picture I just became aware of my great-grandparents, and the little girl in the picture is my grandmother. And thinking about teaching family this summer has made me think a lot about them, and if I consider them family, because most of the people in the picture, except for the littlest ones, are people that I never met. So we'll be talking about that a little bit later. So this is the first of two videos that we will have this week, and before you do anything else, I'd like to ask you to go ahead and pause this video and go back into Canvas, look under the week 1 module, and you will see a lecture quiz there. Go ahead and open up that lecture quiz. It will open in a new window, and you will complete the lecture quiz as you go along listening to this recording. So go ahead and get that and then come back and resume. So this is just a little bit about me. That's me in the upper left-hand corner. Oh, these are funny pictures. I didn't change them for this time. So this is me in the upper left-hand corner. Right in the upper right is a picture of me and my son when we went to Hawaii 2 years ago. And then in the lower right-hand corner is a picture of my son getting ready to go on a trip to Denmark. And in the lower left-hand corner is my dog, Ivy. And that is the answer to your first quiz question. So this is the way it's going to go. I'll tell you about a quiz question when we're ready, and I'll give you the answer. And all you have to do is click the answer. So the answer to the first quiz question is Ivy. My dog's name is Ivy. So I've been teaching sociology for around 12 or 13 years. I've been teaching at Ohlone College for about 5 years, and I love it. I had a different career before this as a clothing designer, believe it or not, but it didn't really fulfill me intellectually, and so I went back to school in my 30s, and I got my master's degree and my PhD in sociology. I love the beach. I loved going to Hawaii with my son, and summer is my favorite season. And that's enough about me. I only have one book in the class, and this is what it looks like. It's called The Family, Diversity, Inequality, and Social Change. It should look just like this. And the author is named Philip N. Cohen. And here comes the second quiz question. The textbook author, Philip Cohen, is a professor at which university? So he is a professor at the University of Maryland. So this is an overview of our course requirements. We have weekly lectures and weekly lecture quizzes. The lectures are pre-recorded short lectures. There's usually 3. This week I think there will only be 2, but in other weeks there will be 3, sometimes even 4, and the videos are never longer than 15 minutes each. Lectures and lecture quizzes are available on Wednesdays each week unless there's a technical issue like there was yesterday. We also have response journals, discussion boards, and 2 exams. So I'm going to go over those all one by one. So on the weekly lectures, as I just said, the weekly lecture videos will be made available on Wednesdays each week. You really must listen to the lectures in order to do well in the class, especially on the exams. So much of what's on the exams much of it, but not all of it, is drawn from the lectures or covered in the lectures. Another thing that I wanted to say about the lectures is where to find them. So you'll find them under modules, week 1 or week 2 or week 3, whatever you're looking for, and you'll see a heading that says this week's lecture, and then it will say week 1 lecture or week 2 lecture. Click on that and you'll see a page that has 2 or 3 or 4 videos on it, and you should watch each of those. And then the lecture quizzes usually cover all of the lectures, not just the first one or the second one. Usually there are questions from each of the videos. So the lecture quizzes are really designed to ensure that you've listened to the lectures. There are 5 very simple questions each. There's no studying needed since I give you the answers. You take the quiz while listening to the recording. We don't have live lectures in this class. And all quiz answers will be given during the lecture. If you find that I've made an error in Canvas on grading a quiz or something like that, be sure to let me know, because it happens. I make mistakes. So open the quiz after you've launched the lecture, but before the lecture begins. Lecture quizzes are due on Saturdays at 11:59 p.m. However, I recommend that you listen to them on Wednesday or Thursday before you have any assignments due, because I often talk about your assignments during the lectures. So speaking of assignments, we have response journals in every week of the course, all 6 weeks. 5 out of the 6 of them are short exercises. They're pretty brief exercises that build on what you've been learning in your sociology class. The week 2 journal is a research project, so it's a little bit more involved. It's already available though, so you can go ahead and look at it now and get started on it if you like. It's a pretty short research project, but it's a little bit more work than some of the other assignments. Response journals are completely private. Nobody will see them but me, and so you can be assured of that. So there are 5 regular length journals, including that research project, but the journal during week 6 is a little different than the rest of the journals. I call it an extended journal. It's in week 6, and it is a journal that asks you to cover all 6 weeks of the class. It's more like a little paper, maybe a 1.5 page paper, and that assignment will be open during week 7, so you can get started on it then. The journals are not difficult assignments, but they do ask you to pay attention. So pay attention to the instructions. You will lose points if you miss components of the assignment, and you'll lose points if they're late. And you will also lose points if you haven't put much effort into them. So just to give you a rough idea, they should be, I would say, around something like a half a page long each. That should do it. I think the research project takes a little bit longer. We also have discussions or discussion boards in this class. They are a very important component in this course. It's where a lot of our learning takes place. Beginning in week 1, we have discussions each week except for in weeks 3 and 6. The due dates for the assignments are very important to keep track of. Part 1 of each assignment is due on Friday, and part 2 is due on Sundays, both due at 11:59 p.m., but Canvas only announces the Sunday due date. So part 1 is where you respond to the prompt given, and then part 2 is where you respond or reply to your classmates' responses to the prompt. So the interaction is mainly student to student. You'll be working with each other and teaching each other, but I will be going in there and discussing with you a lot of the time. Each discussion is 20 points each, and this is 80 points total. So I just gave you 2 more quiz answers, so although I didn't say it all. So during the discussions, students are expected to refer to ideas and concepts found in the textbook, and they are also expected to be respectful and cheerful, and main posts should be around 200 and 250 words long, somewhere between 200 and 250 words long. So the answer to quiz question 3 is all of the above. And then the fourth one, part 2, is when you respond to your classmates.